The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond, got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality, who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be, who I am is fine with me. It's who I am, it's who I am, who I am is fine with me.
Hi everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? So I want to welcome everybody. This is episode 57 of What's the Story with Maria. Today is August 14th, because the show is about nostalgia, so I'm going back. Today is August 14th, 2018. So I want to welcome you to What's the Story with Maria. The date is important, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So Michael Rizzo and Jay Rivera have joined us. Melissa Manchester. Hi, Melissa Manchester, one of my favorite songwriters, probably my favorite of all time. Dave Downs has joined. Chris DePiro has joined. Renee Christine has joined. Isabella Raskowski, that's my cousin Marisa, has joined. Leo Rodriguez. Okay, so what do I want tonight? What is the show about? So I had a guest that was scheduled for tonight, and that guest is moved to 2 weeks from tonight. We had a scheduling issue in it. Nancy Pizzotti's joined us, and it's funny, I posted this thing on my wall a few weeks ago that said there are no coincidences, and I just truly believe it. Somebody wrote it in a bathroom, and I took a picture of it, and it's just been popping up over and over and over again this week. So I took advantage of the fact that I didn't have guests. And I'm going to have call-in guests, actually. So I have 3 call-in guests coming in. But then I was listening to the news. I opened up my New York Times this morning and listening to the news. And I realized today is this anniversary of, we had a blackout. August 14th, 2003. We had a blackout in the city, like a major blackout. My cousin Rena's joined us. Michael Bradley has joined us. And everybody, I think, that lived in New York at that time would remember where they were that day, because it was like this crazy thing that happened, and literally you couldn't see 2 feet in front of you because the street lights were out, everyone's light, just car lights, and that's it. So where was I that day? It was a very bittersweet day for me because one of my good friends was moving. Dom Giovanni has joined us. I'm trying to get everybody in. Kate Greer has joined us. Hi, Craig. Kate Greer is going to call in a little while, I think around 9:30ish, but hang in, Kate, because if Susie doesn't get in first, then we'll get you in first. So anyway, that day, a friend of mine was moving, and it was my last chance to say goodbye to her. And I was also doing work on the set of The Sopranos at the time, which shot in Caldwell, New Jersey, North Caldwell, New Jersey. So it was about trying to get in back to the city in time to say goodbye to my friend Shannon, who was leaving town. So it had all this attached to it anyway. And then the blackout happened, and I was out in New Jersey in North Caldwell, and the set just went like boom. The whole set just kind of went down, and it was like light enough that everybody was like, "Oh, what was that sound?" But it was still light out. So then they realized that the lights had gone out, so the generators kicked in. So we had some generators happening there, but they decided to wrap up early because everyone found out that the city had gone completely dark. And there was no electricity, and they thought, they had bussed all of us in to do, this work on the set. They should probably get us back out, back into the city. So it was all this crazy stuff, and people were trying to call each other and all this stuff. So everyone has their own memory. So we get on these buses, and you think you just get on a bus or you just get in a car and you just drive into something. But when there are absolutely no lights at all, not even the city, nothing, there are no lights. You're just driving, and you can only go about 10 miles an hour. So all you can see is the car in front of you. So this big bus had come in. Mesa has joined us. Hi, honey. Johnny Tamara has joined us. Leo Rodriguez has joined us. Richard Skipper has joined us. Richard Skipper is rescheduled for the 28th, by the way, so come back if you want to see Richard Skipper on our show. So we're driving in anyway. I'm telling the story about August 14th when we had the blackout in New York City. And we're driving in this bus, and you literally cannot see just the lights of the bus. That's it. Nothing. And it's like pin drop quiet until we come into Washington Heights. And don't you know that Washington Heights is still playing salsa? Somebody must have had batteries in their radio, and everybody's out on the street with candles and things like that, and eating and drinking. And I thought, wow. But this is all by candlelight, and it's crazy. So we're just still going in, and it's quiet and eerie, and we're coming towards Times Square, and there's no lights. So I am one of those people. My mother always told me to carry a flashlight, and I still carry a flashlight in my bag to this day. And that night it came in really handy. I actually got let off in Times Square, which was pitch black, and I knew where my friends would be that night because we have this gathering place that we go to on certain nights. And I just turned on my flashlight, and a couple of people, we all kind of met up, and we walked towards where we were going. And that is my memory of that. So Shannon Hetzel Cameron has just joined us, and Shannon, I was telling everybody, Shannon was my friend that was leaving town that day, and I was trying desperately to get back to say goodbye to her. I tagged her on Facebook, and I was stuck on that set, which was not a bad thing because I was doing what I came here to do, but it was a crazy night. So I'm sure everybody has memories of that night. So it got me thinking. It got me very, very, very nostalgic. And I thought, there's this amazing book and blog that's called Vanishing New York. And it's written by this man named Jeremiah Ross. And so he started a website or a blog at first with all these places in New York, iconic places that were closing down. And it just really took off because it was happening at a crazy rate. I think he started his blog in 2007 or 8, and now, like 11 years later, it's alarming, the list of places. So I just was thinking about all this, and I thought, okay, I'm not even going to have any guests on tonight. I'm just going to have people call in that could talk about, I've been in New York 30 years, which isn't that long, actually, if you think about it. But it's longer than I grew up in Boston. I lived there shorter than I lived here. So I know a lot about New York, and I love New York, and we come from all these other places, So I'm going to have my friend Susie call in a few minutes, and then Kate Greer's going to call in, and then we're going to end with Eric Garcia. So, and they're all, have different stories to tell. But so I want to talk about my friend Anthony Barilli. My friend Anthony Barilli and his wife Justine owned this place called Three of Cups, which was on First Avenue and I believe 5th Street. The Three of Cups was like a classic Italian rustic restaurant. Amazing. We all used to go there, and he owned it for over 30 years. And but it was also this really cool rock and roll club. Downstairs it was like music, and it was just like a rocker club downstairs, Italian restaurant upstairs, and it was like this incredible Gothic place, right? Because it was Gothically lit, I would say. So I was talking to Anthony. I wanted to try to get him to call in. Hi, Jeffrey Campbell, and Meg Gallagher has joined us. Hi, you guys. So I was trying to get Anthony to call in, and I was texting him today and calling him, and was ready to get on a plane. Stephen Elbell's joined us. Hi, guys. He was getting on a plane with his wife and kids, and they're going to Spain. So that's great. And he said, I can do it because the restaurant's closed now. So it was kind of that bittersweet where we were. But I talked to Anthony for a while, and he was actually very forthcoming with all this great information. So, this is what he said, because I said I want to get the point of view of an owner of one of these iconic places that, like, why is this happening? So he said, first of all, this is no news to anybody, but in the last 10 years especially, rents have gone, like, through the roof. Like, it's happened in Boston, too. I was talking to Jimmy, our producer, and it's happened in a lot of cities, but so rents go crazy, and people start not just raising rent a little bit, but doubling and tripling to points where people can't afford to at all to renew their leases. So they have no choice but to close down, you know. So Anthony's Three of Cups was, he said that what made him just really sad was that what he feels that is that the diversity and the eclecticity of New York is just that's what's suffering, because artists used to come here from all over the world, and it was a place you could come to, and yeah, you had to get roommates and all that crazy stuff, but you could live here and you could thrive in your art here. You know, it was like there was a place for artists. That's what New York was, a place for artists. And he said, like, now it's really like a rich man's playground. That's what it's turned into. And I just like kept thinking about it and thinking, and he was like, you know, when we closed, he said, people were coming in saying you were one of the last places left that we could still afford to go to and bring our families to, and things like that. So, and he said it's becoming this cookie cutter city, you know, where it's just banks and Dwayne Reeds and CVS's, and there's a need for that. Of course, there's a need for all that stuff, but like the little mom and pop shops are like shriveling up, you know, because there's just, they can't afford these crazy rents, you know. So it made me so sad, you know. And so I just, you know, Anthony has so much to say, and he's like, you know, can you imagine, like, if it was now, like, CBGBs wouldn't exist, and like the Ramones and Lou Reed and Debbie Harry's, those people, you know, those artists starting out, you know, and even the little cafe shops, you know, like, and you know, I know Melissa Manchester's listening, and I'm sure she would be an amazing addition to this conversation, you know. So places like that, and you know, there was a place that closed also called Rose's Turn, and that was this amazing, used to be the old duplex, and it was this amazing place that so many people started there, you know, Joan Rivers and Barbara Streisand, and just like one after another. 88's was this incredible cabaret club that I loved. It was on 10th Street. It was one of the first places that I came to when I used to visit New York, because I moved here in 90. So, but I used to visit there in the 80s, and it was just like, oh my God, like, you know, to go there was just amazing. So, I have it, like, I just was thinking about all this stuff. So tonight we're not just going to be sad. We're going to also reminisce about, like, these cool places, you know, that we've all gone to, and you know, I just wanted to, Susie's going to call in soon. So I just wanted to talk about some of these places that, anyway, the Vanishing New York thing is, the gentleman's name is Jeremiah Ross. He started a blog, and then he turned it into a book. So we are going to, let me talk about some of the places that I loved that closed. The Tiffany Diner in Sheridan Square. The Sheridan Diner. Manitous. I mean, these were all amazing diners that closed. So, I'm just so many. I mean, I have like this crazy long list. But anyway, actually, you know what? Why don't we have? We'll wait another minute, and if Susie doesn't call in, we'll have Kate call in now, because I just want to make sure everybody gets. Oh, the Five Oaks. Richard Skipper, thank you for reminding me. I didn't even write down the Five Oaks. Holy cow! So the Five Oaks. Yes, the Tiffany Diner. You know, if you guys think of stuff. Actually, you know what, Kate? Why don't you call in now? Oh, no, here comes Susie. Never mind. Here comes Susie. Okay. Hold on a second. Hey, Susie.
Hey, I'm sitting here with Eddie Baca at the clubhouse. We're calling you. Huh?
Oh, my God. Hi, Eddie Baca. How you guys doing?
Good. Can I present speakerphone?
Okay, so we are live. Hi. We're live now, and I was just, you know, I was talking about, like, so many things that have changed in New York. And I wanted to specifically talk to you, Susie, not just because you're one of my best friends in the world, and not just because I'm wearing the shirt that I wore in our movie, which is called Just Eat With Me. Yeah, if you go on YouTube and type in Just Eat With Me with Susan Campanera and Maria Gentili, you will see our short film.
Like Snapchat. Just laugh. She loves to watch it. She shows people.
Yeah, she loves it. All right, I'm going to try to take you off the speakerphone. Hold on a second, honey. And I'm going to try to get you on this, because sometimes. So, okay, why don't you tell us? Because I was particularly interested in hearing you when you first came. You were like a club kid, you and your brother, right? Okay, hold on a second. All right, hold on, sweetie. So go ahead. You and your brother came.
New York in 8. I came on a train to Penn Station, Florida, and my brother, he was yelling, boo, boo, and then we found each other. Like, immediately, the first night, I put on, like, a booby top and a short skirt, high heels, and a little, like, high hat, you know, like a black sailor's hat. And I went out to the biggest club there was at the time called the Red Zone.
The Red Zone. And where was that?
The Red Zone was downtown, I believe.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but it was a huge warehouse. There was the World, the Red Zone. These were ginormous clubs, like.
And they were in warehouses?
Floors. Yeah, they were like in gigantic spaces. And so I came there, and I met these Brooklyn boys that were like my age. So I was about 22, 21. And then I met these Brooklyn boys, and this guy, Stefan Lapino, took our picture. And that summer, my picture flashed all around the Red Zone. There was this photography exhibition of all the club kids, because that was the
And what year was that, Susie?
Era. 88.
88. Wow.
Yeah, and so my brother and I became like famous club kids. And back then, it was like all the drag queens from Atlanta. There was Lahoma. Lady Bunny was actually the biggest one. RuPaul was like the second queen of Manhattan. The first queen of Manhattan that was voted on Bastille Day was Cody Ravioli, and she got to be the first queen of Manhattan because she had breasts.
Wow.
She was the first one that like showed her breasts down in the Meatpacking District. They would have the big Bastille Day, and then the next year it was RuPaul, and that year the big club was called the Love Machine.
Wow.
And the Love Machine.
And that was in the Meatpacking District?
Yeah, all of this was in the Meatpacking District. Jackie 60. There was the Nels was on Monday night. There was the World, and then Club USA. There was a slide in it. But the Love Machine is where the club kids came from. Where Michael Alex and Julie Jules and all those club kids that used to throw these like mash parties where they would get a truck and they would just like show up all in costumes. My brother used to like run with them, and they would just like have like bizarre parties like anywhere in the city. They would like come out of a car or a truck.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Like now you wouldn't see any of that. You know, it's
no. Now the old club scene was dancing, and there were shows, and there were drag shows, and like, but the drag show was like maybe at 1 o'clock in the morning. There would be one act. It wasn't like how it is today, like drag explosion. But everybody dressed back in the old days, like at the Roxy. Everyone dressed up, not just the drag queen. Everyone was in some sort of a costume. It was a whole different time.
Yeah.
And my brother and I were club kids, and we would get in free, and then like.
Well, you guys look alike. You're not twins, but they thought you were twins, right?
They thought we were twins. Yeah.
Yeah. So because you do really look alike, you and Giovanni. And
and then
go ahead.
You know, like the Wigstock was just this really small kind of like 500-person thing down in Tompkins Square Park that would happen, and it was Lady Bunny, and it was just this explosion of like everyone would wear lingerie or put on a wig, and it was a really like small Tompkins Square Park. Before that, it was Tent City, like in the summer of '88. It's where all the homeless live.
Right.
It's like how and then the Wigstock became this big, extravagant thing that they put on the West Side that cost $20. It used to be a free day.
Right.
And they just kind of ruined it. Like, it's gone,
Right. So that was happening a lot, where something would, like, catch fire somewhere, and then someone would turn it into, like, a money-making machine, and then it would kind of lose its beauty, really, and it would lose its originality. That's really what it was.
The club scene would die. It'd be like the club kids would open, and it would be all New York, and we would know about it. And then as soon as the bridge and tunnel people came, then the club moved. Then a new club would have to open.
Susie, raise your voice just a little, honey, because I got the AC on and it's hard to hear you. So as soon as the bridge and tunnel people would come, then they would have to move to another club.
Would be done. Yeah, they would move the club or open a new club. Like, you didn't want that kind of people. Then the club would take off, and the owner would make tons of money. But the club first started with just the New Yorkers, you know?
Right. And that's what
But there was always...
That's what made it popular, right?
The after hours.
Yeah, there's
once
no
it become
after hours
popular-
anymore. That is true. You don't. I mean, if there are, we don't know about them, but
Yeah, we used to go to Save the Robot. That was in Alphabet City. Did you go to Save the Robot, Eddie?
no.
Save the Robot was in Alphabet City, and you would go there like at 5 a.m. and dance more, and you would stay up till like, 11, 12 in the afternoon. But you never went out before midnight.
You never went out before midnight. That is such a New York thing, right? I mean,
Never.
Yeah, we understand that. So let me just take a second. So Julie Angelina has joined us. Silvana Mastrolia has joined us. Yeah, Richard Skipper just said New York is no longer the city that never sleeps. Richard, we're going to have to continue this conversation when you come on for sure, because there's so much to talk about. I mean, Michael Parsons.
Well, Richard Skipper, he knows.
He knows, yeah.
Skipper,
Richard's going to be on the show in 2 weeks. So,
amazing.
Gina Savino has joined us, everybody. Gina, it's just me tonight. There's nobody to clap. And I'm holding the phone, but Gina Savino, everybody. Clap, everybody at home. Dave Downs had just said, oh, my God, save the robot. So he knows. Hi, sweetheart.
Right.
We're talking about Vanishing New York and the different things. Yvette Bloom has joined us. Okay, Susie, well, I want to thank you for calling in because I know you were at a show tonight.
Just to say, the one thing that has vanished in New York is the small town shop.
The small town, yes.
Yeah, first of all, 7-Eleven, the only 7-Eleven I knew about was the one I went to in Palm Beach, Florida. Now it's like every corner has Starbucks, every corner has a 7-Eleven, every corner has a
bank.
Donuts, and right, but the small town mom and pop shops are like gone.
I know,
And
that's what we were talking
made
about.
New York amazing. But where they ended up was down on Orchard Street. Like everything down on the Lower East Side is still kind of cool. And nothing was there. I lived on Ludlow behind Katz's Deli, 5 blocks down.
Wait, you know what my favorite place was that closed that I couldn't believe it? Was, and you love it too, was Florent on Gansevoort Street.
Oh, that's I had I celebrated my birthday there.
Yes.
The week that it
And I remember that.
Yeah, that was my favorite place. That's where all the club kids went after the club.
And nobody knew about it unless you knew about it. It was in the meatpacking district. That was my favorite of all the places. So unless you knew about it, forget it. Nobody would go to the meatpacking district back then was actually a meatpacking district. There were no fancy clubs. There was like boxes. There was Dizzy Izzy Bagels. There was just and meatpacking places. That's it. And like Coyote Ugly was down there, or
there was a club called Jackie 60.
Right, but you had to know about them.
Yeah, you had to know about it.
And then we would go to Florent. We would go to Florent, and we would order like you could get things like meat. Yeah, you could get mussels, you could get meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and you could get escargot, like crazy.
Oh yeah,
it was amazing, and that's like of all the places, the one I missed the most, I think. So,
I definitely not.
I know. All right, honey. Well, I want to thank you, Kate Greer. I love you so much, and Kate Greer is going to call in. She's going to talk about Hell's Kitchen and how that's changed, and then the theater scene.
I'm coming up to see you next Tuesday before your show.
Yeah?
I love you.
All right, honey.
Bring us some chicken and rice.
Oh, my God. That's going to be so fun. Next week, I have the Santoros of Paramus.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I have the Santoros of Paramus on next week. And then 2 weeks from tonight is Richard Skipper. Can you believe that? What a lineup.
Amazing. Richard Skipper, I adore you.
How can you not love Richard Skipper?
You, Miss Maria.
All right, I love you to death, Susie. And if you want to watch our movie, we have a short film called Just Eat With Me. It's me and Susie, and Chris Shapiro did it. And anyway, so I'm going to get clear. Okay, bye. What? Yes. All right, Susie, let me get Kate. I love you, honey.
Okay, bye.
Bye, babe. All right, Kate's calling. Kate's going to call back in. All right, Kate, call one more time, honey. So I'm like, I know I'm piggybacking them, but All right, so the place that Susie and I were talking about was in the meatpacking district, and I will get back to that because that is no longer what it used to be at all. All right, so Kate is calling in. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Maria.
How are you, my friend?
Oh my God, I'm loving this show.
Oh, I'm so glad, and I'm so glad you agreed to call in. One thing, because I do have the AC on, so I want you to be heard. Just bring your volume up a little bit, honey, because I have you on speaker, and I'm holding you up to the mic. Okay.
Okay.
So the reason that I asked Kate to call, besides the fact that I love her, is that when I posted about the show in the middle of the night, she typed in, and she was talking about Hell's Kitchen, how things had changed in the theaters, and I thought that would be great, because Susie was such a club kid, so she covers that for sure. And I want you to just fill us in, Kate. When did you move to the city?
I moved to New York in August of 1986.
Wow, okay. So that's like, how many years is that?
Well, I say that I moved to New York in 86, and so that would be 32 years, but I had a 2-year break because I toured around the country, working regional theaters and then a little bit out in L.A. So
Okay.
About 30 years, I guess.
Yeah, wow. Wow, that's a long time. Okay, so, all right, so Kate, let's with you concentrate on Hell's Kitchen and how that's changed, and also the theater scene, because you came here to study as an actress, right, and singer. So you really have a story. So fill us in on how you think it's changed, or some of the things you think would. Go ahead, honey.
Sure. Well, my school was downtown, right by on Broadway and Houston. It was called the National Shakespeare Conservatory, and it was when there was a Crunch gym there. It had pineapples all over it.
Yeah.
That was the corner, and it I think they were just building the Angelica Film Center.
Yes.
You could look down Broadway, and there were the Twin Towers, and I had an Instamatic camera. And I was so excited.
Isn't that crazy?
With the cube, with the last cube that turned around.
Yeah, I know. The crazy, right?
And I took pictures of being downtown, and I was just so excited to be in the energy of New York, in this, creative, pulsating city. Like if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Yep.
And I just would take pictures of clerks, and I was just so excited to be here.
Of course.
Theater.
So go ahead, honey. And how is the theater? You talked about Circle in the Square as well, right?
Yeah. Well, Circle in the Square is downtown. It was downtown, right? There's a restaurant there. I think it's called the Garage now,
which no longer exists. The Garage closed too, like last year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, that was a huge, Circle in the Square was like when off-Broadway theaters were like, in their heyday, 70s, 80s, and it was one of the first productions I saw there. It was just a super creative environment that was just like, so vibrant at that time that I wanted to be a part of. And,
of course.
Gentrification, rents, all that stuff. That all changes. So sometimes, there's also a place on, I think it's Christopher Street, the Lions Den, where Jessica Lange worked, and I got a job there, and I was excited because Jessica Lange worked there.
I know, it was a big deal. Now,
and
go ahead. I was going to say now, and so you were here because when I got here in '90, Times Square was not what it is now. So you must have even seen it before that. And what can you tell us about all those theaters and time?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Well, I moved uptown to be closer to the theaters. I moved up into this apartment in I'd say 1990.
Okay.
And, there were just, Times Square, there was Broadway and 7th Avenue running at the same time through it. Now it's just like a pedestrian platform. And so there was a lot of really good Broadway up here, too, like on 42nd between 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Tootsie with the end credits in Tootsie where they're walking down? There was like a TV studio there. There were all these, like, all these kind of down, I call them down and dirty theaters. But
Yeah.
just like really cool off-Broadway theaters. But when they rebuilt everything, and now there's skyscrapers all over Hell's Kitchen.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like, it's all, ever since 9/11, I feel like everything moved uptown, and like you said, this is kind of a bummer thing, but all the artists have gotten pushed up or out. And
right.
This building that I lived in was filled with like dancers, like the lead actor from Contact lived here, and all kinds of Broadway people.
You know what building I lived in that I absolutely loved, and it was the same thing. It was all actors and dancers. It was the Camelot on on 45th and 8th. I lived on the 12th floor, 12G.
Yeah.
It was me and Michael Mackesy. Michael Mackesy was my roommate, and he used to travel like 8 months out of the year. He was and I was there the rest of the time, and it was just this little tiny L-shaped studio that we shared. It was crazy, and like everyone in the building was a musician or on Broadway or in a dance company. It was incredible, and it was just incredible. I know. So well, thank you for filling us in, because when you said that, I thought I got to talk to Kate Greer.
Yeah, there's one other theater I want to talk about, the American Place Theater, that was on 46th Street and 6th Avenue. It's now taken over by the Roundabout.
Okay.
That theater, like Dustin Hoffman had a big break-in, and Joe Chicken and Sam Shepard, and it was just like this. It's still there. It's right by the Indian restaurant. If anyone ever goes there, I forget the name of it, but now it's like the Laura Pell Theater at the Roundabout. But it's just, at least it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still hanging on, and I just hope that the theaters can still thrive. And there's always a new generation, which is good, but it's a little more bankery.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know. That's the thing, and Joe Allen. I used to work for Joe Allen, and I used to find him so interesting to talk to about, like, what things were even before we knew them. And he said that when he opened his restaurant, which I think was in '61, nobody wanted to be there. And the reason, because it was just Hell's Kitchen, it was not the best neighborhood. And he said that he took a risk and opened this restaurant because he loved theater people and he wanted to be around them, and he wanted to give them a place to go after shows or in between shows to eat, and he took a chance. And look at, the neighborhood over the years changed a lot, but he said nobody, and I thought, really, nobody wanted to live here? Isn't that crazy? But
it was so cool, like walking down. Now it sounds kind of like weirdly nostalgic. But
I've been like that all week.
The grit of Times Square a lot. And once Giuliani started cleaning up everything, which is great, but not everybody wants to go to McDonald's.
Well, the thing is, when you clean up something, it's great and all that, but when you push out certain grit, it's going to go to other places, right? And then eventually you're just bleaching everything out. And what my friend Anthony Barilli was saying, because his restaurant had to close after 30 years, was he was saying, and it kind of goes with what you're saying, that artists now are kind of going to Detroit and Buffalo and other places to start up these theater companies and things like that. So what I'm hoping, I wanted to also do the show because I just feel that if we talk about things, it's always better. It's better to talk about the something. I've been so nostalgic lately, and I just think that a lot of us have been, and it's good to talk about it. And as theater people and as artists, it's important that we remember and continue to want to do art.
Well, and I think the future is definitely in the next generation coming up. You use that as a teacher. So, I'm hoping. I still see bright-eyed kids at the Equity Audition Center and,
absolutely,
young people. They're all on their phones, but...
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, honey, I love you, and I want to thank you for calling in. I really appreciate you calling in. And
of course.
and sharing your stories. And I got Eric Eves Garcia is going to call in a little while. He's at Chez Josephine tonight. He's so cute. And he's yes, he's the piano player there. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And so on his break, which is 9:45, he's going to call in. So, and he's doing a show tomorrow night, and I want to promote his show and talk about exactly that. We need to continue to do beautiful work and just continue to carry the torch. So thank you, sweetheart. I hope to...
Can I just put a plug in for
Sure.
the West Bank Cafe?
Yes,
Cabaret
please.
Room? That's some great cabaret happening down there at the West Bank Cafe.
Yes, I love the West Bank Cafe, actually. That's a great room. That's the Laurie Beachman Theater, right?
Yeah, Laurie Beecham. Mm-hmm.
Yep, okay. So that's... Okay, great. So there's so many great... and Dave Downs, by the way, says, love you, Kate Greer. He's so cute.
Aww.
He's so romantic.
I love him, too.
Yes, we've all grown to love Dave Downs. Now, he's got a fan club here on What's the Story with Maria.
I know.
Right?
I know.
All right, sweetheart. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks.
All right, bye, honey. All right, so that was Kate Greer. She is fantastic. She's an actress, a wonderful actress, and she also does a lot of voiceovers. So I want to thank her for calling in. Okay, I'm going to check with some of my people that I haven't had a chance to say hi to. Okay, Kyle de Blasio, Scotty Ryan, Billy Goffey have checked in. Len Shabar has checked in. Julie Cesari checked in. Lauren Finney. Hi, Lauren Finney. Oh, I love you. I miss you, honey. Joseph Hunter. Robin Riley. So many great people. Dave Downs have checked in. Okay, so I'm going to keep going through this list of Vanishing New York. Well, that's what we're talking about, that great blog, Vanishing New York. And the man's name is Jeremiah Ross, and he wrote this amazing book called Vanishing New York. And you can get it on Amazon, or, you know what, I'll tell you what, go to a bookstore and get it, so that bookstore stays open. And one of the great bookstores is Three Lives Bookstore on, I think, West 10th and Waverly. That's a great little bookstore. And I think they pay by the month now. The landlord's letting them pay by the month so they can stay open. So go to Three Lives Bookstore and get Vanishing New York by Jeremiah Ross. Okay, so I'm going to continue, and then Eric Garcia, let me just take a sip of this water here so I don't pass out, because I never stop talking, Okay, so here I'm going to name just a list of some of the places. Hi, Danielle Mazzio has joined us. Melba LaRose has joined us. And then Eric's going to call in. Okay, here are the places that I wrote down that I remembered. The Tiffany Diner, the Sheridan Diner, Manitou's, Florent, which was my favorite of all time. Dizzy Izzy Bagels in the Meatpacking District when it was the Meatpacking District and not what it's turned into now, which I can't even drive through there. H&H Bagels. Boy, do I miss H&H Bagels. On the way home, I would stop and get bagels. This is killing me. Big Nick's. Big Nick's Pizza Joint on the Upper West Side, which was open 24 hours a day. They had the craziest menu you ever saw, and we used to play a game and see if we could, who would find the most typos. Big Nick's had every single thing under the sun that you could want, from like grape leaves to pancakes to like squid. It was crazy what was on this menu. Just the craziest things you ever saw, but it was the best. Riviera, which just closed, which was like the only Red Sox, well, now there's another one, but there was Red Sox bar for years that you could go and watch a Red Sox game in New York. The Garage, the Village Voice. I used to wait up and go and get the Village Voice when it would come out at like 4 in the morning, and they would drop it off in Sheridan Square, the Village Voice, and I would grab it on the way home after work. And I couldn't wait to flip through the Village Voice, and it's gone. This is killing me too. Colony Records. Do you remember Colony Records? Oh my God, it was on 50th, 49th, and Broadway. All my sheet music I got at Colony, all of it. And records and so much great stuff. And all those guys and girls that worked there were so knowledgeable. Oh my God. Tower Records, The Bottom Line, Rose's Turn, Manganeros. Do you remember Manganeros? Manganeros was on 9th Avenue and around 36th Street. and it was just an Italian, almost like a sandwich shop, but also a restaurant. It was there for 113 years, and all these places, it's all rents. Rents just went sky high, doubled, tripled, ridiculous. You know what, landlords? Shame on you. Shame on you for sucking the soul out of New York. Shame on you. The Village Chess Shop. Do you remember the Village Chess Shop on Thompson Street? I mean, just amazing. They had all these different chess sets, and people would just go in there, right near NYU. Gray's Papaya. So I'm wearing this shirt tonight because Susie and I made that film a couple years back, and Gray's Papaya was one of the spots that we stopped right near. Also, oh my God, like 4 out of the 5 locations that we went to are gone. And that was only, maybe like 8 years ago, that film? 4 out of the 5 are gone. The only one left is Joe's Pizza and Rocco's, but like everything else. It just maybe went to 6 places. Okay, so Gray's Papaya, Beard Papa, which was my favorite dessert. Oh my God. Avignoni's Pharmacy. Do you remember Avignoni's Pharmacy, which was on Carmine Street and 6th? It was my pharmacy. You could go in there. Every single person knew you. The pharmacist, the owner, the ladies behind the counter, and it was just amazing. And now it's just this generic place. Cafe Dante. Cafe Dante I loved, and I think it's changed hands, so it might not be completely closed, but that place had been there forever. Cafe Figaro. These are all on McDougal Street. Rudy's Music Shop on 47th Street. Remember, you had Sam Ash, you had Rudy's, and you would go and you could get instruments, you could get sheet music, and again, everybody was so knowledgeable. This was amazing. I'm going to stop for a second. Okay, Bill Goffey. Yeah, the bookstores. Yeah, bookstores. You got to support your bookstores because they're all gone. And look, I know everybody likes their ebooks and all that. Not me. I don't like. I want to get a book. I want to smell a book. I want to crumble it. I want it to look like I read it after I read it. You know what I'm saying? So I also like books on CD. So that's I like that too when I'm driving. So let me see. So I'm just trying to read what everybody's writing. So many great comments. We really appreciate it. Coliseum. Thank you, Danielle. The Coliseum Books. I forgot about that. I love that place. That was an amazing bookstore. I am a big fan of books. Eric Eves Garcia has joined us. Eric, you must call in immediately because you're going to breathe hope back into this because we're just getting all nostalgic and sad. Cafe Edison also. So Frenchie, call in as soon as you can. Cafe Edison has closed. Carnegie Deli. Are you kidding me? All right. You know who's calling in now? Eric Eves Garcia. Frenchie. Hold on, let me put you on speakerphone. Hi, sweetheart.
How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, keep your voice at that level so that we can hear you. I got you up to the microphone. Now, you are at work right now. You're at Chez Josephine, right?
I'm at work. I'm on a break. I'm literally on the street.
I can't believe it. That is a dedicated person. Not only is he one of my best friends, but he is a dedicated musician. He's at work. He's snuck out on his break, and he's calling us. Now, because I know you got to go back to work, please, This is Breathing Hope. We were talking about so many things vanishing, so many things changing, and wanting to keep the music scene alive in the city. You have a great performance tomorrow night. Tell us about that, please.
Well, it's Thursday night.
Oh, Thursday, right. Thank you. I'm sorry. So go ahead.
Yeah. Thursday night, it's at Feinstein's 54 Below. It's the 9:30 show. And it's a tribute to Tony Bennett. And I just feel like if there's anybody that really just absolutely embodies choosing great music as music tastes change, and he kept insisting on doing great material. And he's a son of New York. He's from Astoria, and he's still with us. I mean, so I just thought.
Yeah, I think he's 91, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He is, and he's got an album coming out, and I'm just excited to do it. You know, I read a quote of his where he said his ultimate aim is to make his crowds happy.
Yeah, but how wonderful.
Yeah.
How wonderful is that?
So he, you know, and it's I'm going to be accompanying myself on piano, obviously, and I can't wait. I figure like right now, particularly that kind of music, the music that can swing and get your heart racing, but also be intimate. That's a very kind of New York jazz club piano bar thing. You know, that kind of cabaret intimate thing.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait.
Now, how do they get tickets? Well, I call him Frenchie. I'm sorry, guys. His name is Eric Eves Garcia. So I have nicknames for everybody. But Eric Eves Garcia.
I do have people introduce themselves to me and say, "Oh, you're Frenchie," and I don't know who they are, but they're friends of yours.
Apparently. Oh my God. So how do they get tickets, honey?
They can go to 54below.com, and if they want to use, just go on the calendar for Thursday, August 16th at 9:30. And if they want to use the code ERIC-Y5, they get $5 off for main dining room seat.
Okay, so Eric Y is in Eves?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And 5?
Yep, Eric Y5, and they'll get $5 off for main dining room.
Okay, so Eric Y. Okay, great. So I'll type that in after this, and so they can see that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go see Eric Eves Garcia, aka Frenchie, at 54 Below Thursday night 9:30 show. What time should they get there, Eric?
I think the door. When you call me Eric, I start to.
I know, but I'm trying to so that my friends that are watching aren't just looking for Frenchie, and people are stumbling around looking for this Frenchie person.
You know, I think the doors, because the show beforehand is at 7.
Okay.
So I think the doors, be about what, like, I figure around then 8:45, 9.
Okay. All right, so that's a wonderful thing to do on Thursday night. And I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. You know, I love you to pieces.
I love you absolutely 1,000 times over.
I know, you're my bud.
And let me tell you, if there's anybody that I have regularly sought out, if I just wanted to have a good time and enjoy some music in New York City, or whether I had something to talk out with somebody, or just to feel my spirits lifted, it's you.
Oh,
You're
thanks,
a musical institution in this city, and a lot of people who seek you out for that exact reason, and not all cities in the world have that.
Well, I happen to agree with Tony Bennett in that I just love to do it, and I love to make people happy, and it makes me happy to be around music all the time. So I can't help it. I still love it, so I'll do it until I don't love it anymore, but I still love it. And I'm so proud of you, and so knock 'em dead and break a leg, okay, honey?
Thank you so much, Maria. I love you, and thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, you got it. I love you, honey. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. He is the best. Eric Eves Garcia, a.k.a. Frenchie, to me. All right, so let me see what we have for time, because the hour, as always, is flying by, and I want to talk about a few things. Okay, so we talked about Vanishing New York and that great book, right, by Jeremiah Ross. We talked about, we got nostalgic together. We talked about the club kid scene, the theater scene, back a few years, and but there is always hope. So I am one of those people that feels there is always hope. And it's one thing to just sit back and just say, oh, that's it, I give up. It's, that's the way it used to be, and it's never going to be that way again. And I'm sure every generation feels that. But it's very important that we preserve what we can. I think the mom and pop shops, we look, how can you help the situation? Not just sit around and get nostalgic. Go out and spend money at the mom and pop shops. Go to a bookstore. Not just Amazon. And, we all love the convenience of all that stuff. I get it. I do it too. I order a lot but I always try to also go to stores. Support your local businesses. This is very important. This restaurants, my God, how hard people work. Bars. I work at this amazing bar called Mess Hall that I manage on Saturday and Sundays. It's owned by 3 great, amazing people, Karen, Aaron, and Shanna. And they really work hard to keep these businesses going, and so I'm like honored to work at these places. The Brandies of the world. I mean, these places are still open. Go and support these places. It's really important. So I also want to show you this beautiful book. My friend Richard Koch this is a gorgeous book of photography of New York. It's called New York, New York by Richard Koch, and it's spelled, his name is Koek. And it's just phenomenal. I mean, we need hours to go through it. It's phenomenal. I cannot recommend this book enough. It's from the point of view of inside New York, not a tourist point of view, of a real New Yorker being inside and what we see day to day. New York, New York by Richard Koch. I can't say enough about that. I also, this is like one of those subjects, again, elephant in the living room, that we don't want to talk about, but a lot of people lately, we've been losing a lot of really good people lately. So, just like places, restaurants, streets, theaters were part of what we took in as New Yorkers. For me, my friends have always been what layered, put all these layers on my life, these incredible textures on my life. So I think the best thing we can do for people that go to heaven is continue their legacies as much as we can, and remember to respect their body of work, because as artists, that's what we have, is our body of work. And Trent Kendall, who we lost maybe like a month and a half ago, they have this great scholarship fund for him from the Texas University, I believe. I posted it on What's the Story with Maria, and also on my page, on the What's the Story with Maria page. So just go and check it out. Donate like anything you can, $20, $30. So you want to donate more, and it's a scholarship fund. They've already raised $6,000. Their goal is $25 for a musical theater young person that's up and coming. So they're going to continue to do this. So that's a great thing. I almost can't say Poppy Kramer without getting sad. So we're going to deal with that. Maybe I'll do a Poppy Kramer show. I might just get a bunch of Poppy's friends and do that, because just so many good people. It's like I just wouldn't be able to do it without crying. So, more places that closed that were iconic: the Ziegfeld Theater, Bleecker Street Records. If you guys can pop on more things that closed, but okay, so that's the sad news. The good news is that we're still here. We're still making music and art. And if you're not an artist, but you just love art, you're obviously here and you're watching it. Please go to plays. There's so much good stuff out there. My friend Lisa Brescia, I want to shout out to Lisa Brescia, who is opening this week in Dear Evan Hansen. She plays the mom. She's a great friend of mine for many, many, many years, and I'm so proud of her. So break a leg, Lisa. Continue to go to Broadway shows. Continue to go to piano bars. Continue to go to jazz clubs. That is what keeps places open, and continue, for the love of God, continue to make art. Even when you're not making art, you're still an artist. Remember that. A car is still a car, whether it's parked in the garage or whether it's racing down the street. A car is still a car. An artist is still an artist. So don't get down on yourself. Keep everything going. And just remember all that stuff, okay? And we're getting close to coming to an end. So I just want to tell you that I just want to remember everything that I told myself to remember. Next week I'm having the Santoros of Paramus on. Who are the Santoros of Paramus? They are my Italian family away from my Italian family. They have been in my life for close to that, probably 30 years, and I have spent a lot of holidays with them, and they're just wonderful people. They're supporters of the arts, and they're also artists, and just great, funny, wonderful Italians. So they're going to be on the show next week, and then 2 weeks after that, we have the infamous Richard Skipper. So we're going to have Richard on. Peter Ainello has joined us. I didn't get to say hi to everybody. Cindy Segovia has joined us. Hi, Cindy. Let me see if I missed anybody else. Kenny Holcomb. Hi, Kenny. Listen, yes, I know you came on late, and Kenny just made a great point. I'm late, but I will rewatch. Yes, so remember, What's the Story with Maria? This is our 57th episode, and if you miss the show, I always save the video. You can also hashtag all capitals What's the Story with Maria, and all my shows will pop up. And also, we are in podcasts on Spreaker.com, on iHeartRadio, and recently, which I'm so proud of all of them, but Spotify, which is so great. So you can go to Spotify, type in What's the Story with Maria, and all 57 shows are archived and will be there. So if you've been on the show, which a lot of people have been on the show, your episode's on there. If it doesn't say your name, because they started doing that as of late, just call me or text me, and I will give you your episode number, okay? Or it goes by also with the date of the show. So just remember that you are forever archived out there, and let's listen to each other, and let's support each other, and all that great stuff, okay? So we're coming to the end of our show. I want to thank you guys, and I just want to say keep making music, keep doing great things, support local artists. God bless our friends in heaven. Leave as much as you can on this earth. That's the most important thing. Just leave as much as you can. And we appreciate you. Please come back. And Jimmy, that's Jimmy telling us we're wrapping up. Thank you, Jimmy, my producer, engineer, wonderful person. And we'll see you next week, okay? Thanks, everybody.